From starting wrestling at an extremely young age to retiring absolutely freaking undefeated, was Khabib Nurmagomedov the real GOAT of MMA? Or is he just an overhyped fighter who got lucky? Early life. Let's just talk about the facts here, starting with his introduction to the sport. Khabib Nurmagomedov was born on September 20th, 1988 in the village of Sildi in Dagestan, Russia. Growing up as the second of three siblings, Nurmagomedov began his wrestling journey at the young age of 8. Yep, you heard that right. He was just 8 years old when he started wrestling. But credit where credit's due. He did so trying to follow the footsteps of his father Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. At the age of 12, Khabib moved to Makhachkala, the capital of Dagestan. He did so to work on his wrestling skills. Well, looks like all those decisions paid off. When he was just 17 years old, his dad convinced him to compete in combat Sambo. Despite a history of street fights in his younger days, Nurmagomedov ultimately found his true calling in MMA. His undeniable talent paved the way for a legendary career, and now he's perhaps the greatest fighter of all time. MMA Journey. But none of the glory came easy to him, considering his earlier MMA career. Khabib started on his professional MMA journey in September 2008. And guys, let me tell you, it was one heck of a start. The guy secured 4 wins in less than a freaking month. In October of that year, he won the first ever Atrium Cup tournament in Moscow by beating 3 opponents. Then, in 2011, he moved to Pro FC and totally killed it there, winning all 7 fights by either knocking out or forcing his opponents to give up. His awesome record of 16-0 got Dana White and the UFC interested, and they signed him up. In his very first fight against Shaloris, he won. Then, he had a tough but good fight with Gleison Tibau, but that was only the beginning. After that, he made a big statement by winning in the first round against Thiago Tavares. At UFC 160, he set a new record by taking his opponent down 21 times out of 28 tries during the fight against Abel Trujillo. His 5th UFC fight ended with him winning by unanimous decision against Pat Healy. Dana White, the big boss at the UFC, was super impressed with his moves and even compared one of his slams to the legendary fighter Matt Hughes. White thought this rising star had a really bright future ahead, and well, he did. If you keep watching the video, you'll learn just how amazing the guy's MMA skills were, fighting style, and undisputed status. Let's talk about how he is as a fighter. Khabib Nurmagomedov is really known for his incredible grappling and wrestling skills in the octagon. While he's also good at striking, most people see him as a grappling expert. In fact, some fans even think that he solely relies a lot on grappling to win. So he's kind of considered someone with a singular approach. But then again, does it matter? If it gets results, it gets results. Because here's the thing, there's a different perspective too. Some say Khabib might not have faced as many different opponents and styles as fighters like Jon Jones. After all, Jones has been around for 15 years now and has fought a wide range of competitors. While this might mean Jones has dealt with more varied challenges in his career compared to Khabib, but regardless of everything, no one can deny the guy's incredible record. Khabib retired when he was 33, having never lost a single fight in his entire career. 29 wins, 0 losses. No one else in the UFC has retired undefeated like him. Some up-and-coming fighters such as Umar Nurmagomedov, Bryce Mitchell, and Jack Shore also haven't lost yet. And the thing is, these guys are also really good at grappling, just like Khabib was. So who knows, maybe we're seeing some more GOATs in the making. Anyway, back to Khabib now. Khabib had this unique Sambo-Jitsu style that let him handle opponents both standing up and on the ground. He'd tire them out or find chances to take them down. Once he got them on the ground, it was like he was dominating them as fiercely as a bear or an eagle. Pick your metaphor. Most fighters aim for quick knockouts, but Khabib did things differently. He was good at striking, but he used it more as a setup for his awesome grappling moves. That was his winning strategy, and he nailed it every time. Only losses. The guy was so darn good at his game that he only ever lost 2 rounds in a UFC fight. During Khabib's UFC career, he only lost 2 rounds, which is pretty amazing considering how good he was. Most fighters have tough rounds before winning, but Khabib was different. He seemed to predict how each round would go and placed himself perfectly. In big fights against Conor McGregor and Justin Gaethje, Khabib lost a round to each. They were both really good at striking, and that showed in those rounds Khabib lost. But here's the thing, those small setbacks didn't matter much because Khabib was a grappling genius. He ended up winning both fights by making his opponents tap out. That's how good he was at controlling the fight on the ground, showing everyone his expertise in the sport. Not only that, but Khabib won the UFC Lightweight Championship at UFC 223 by beating Al Iaquinta through a unanimous decision. After that, he defended his title 3 times against top UFC fighters before retiring. Now, all of this should be enough to convince you that Khabib was the real GOAT. However, if it's not, major wins. Then let's talk about what happened during Nurmagomedov versus McGregor at UFC 229. The fight between Nurmagomedov and McGregor in 2018 was a huge deal for the UFC. Loads of people paid to watch it, 2.4 million actually, which is still a record to this day. Before the fight, McGregor did what he does best, trash-talked Khabib to try and mess with his head. But Khabib didn't let it bother him and kept quiet until they got in the octagon. McGregor showed off his amazing striking skills, while Khabib tried to take him down and grapple. It was the first time Khabib ever lost a round. He didn't win the third one out of the 4. But here's where it gets interesting. In the 4th round, Khabib's incredible stamina really showed. He came back strong and totally dominated the bout. He took McGregor down and made him give up with a neck crank, showing everyone his toughness and how he could easily outlast McGregor. But that isn't the only bout he was good in. After fighting McGregor, Khabib defended his title against Dustin Poirier, who's really good at striking. Despite Poirier defending against takedowns well, Khabib's non-stop pressure was just too much. Khabib's amazing endurance played a big role. In the 3rd round, after wearing Poirier down, Khabib made him tap out with a chokehold. His last ever fight was against Justin Gaethje, a strong striker with wrestling skills. People thought Gaethje could defend against Khabib's takedowns, but things went differently. Khabib surprised everyone by trading strikes with Gaethje at first, but then he went for a takedown. He lost the first round to Gaethje, maybe to figure out his style. But after that, Khabib took control. He got Gaethje on the ground and ended up using a triangle choke to make him give up. What's interesting is that Khabib could have hurt Gaethje with an armbar, but he chose the triangle choke to avoid that, showing a lot of respect. That's a big deal because Khabib values respect a lot, and people who show him respect get treated well. He's known as the Eagle for a reason. And listen, he's not only the GOAT because we're saying so. Why he's the GOAT in the UFC? He's the GOAT because other UFC fighters and legends say so as well. A lot of people call Khabib Nurmagomedov the greatest UFC fighter ever. One big reason is that legendary fighters and Hall of Famers say so. Daniel Cormier, a former champ and now in the Hall of Fame, always says Khabib's the best. Some might think Cormier says this because he and Khabib are good friends and used to train together, considering just how much the two joke around with each other. But those people would be wrong. Cause here's the thing, it's not just Cormier. Other fighters who've gone against Khabib in the octagon, like Dustin Poirier, Sean O'Malley, Robert Whittaker, and Georges St. Pierre, also think that he's amazing. So what do you think? Do you think that Khabib Nurmagomedov was the real GOAT? If not, who do you think is the greatest MMA fighter of all time? Let us know in the comments below, and of course subscribe to our channel for updates about all things UFC.